It is another scorching evening in South Florida for me. I know, Jonathan, you're not too far north of me, so you're
Yeah.
probably in the oven as well.
Yes.
I was running over to turn my AC off 2 minutes ago
Mhm.
because this room is closer to a sauna than anything else. But you know what? We're here. We're here to talk comics. That cools me down. That makes me feel better. I get to talk with my buddy Will Allred. Will, it hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been 9 days since we got to hang out and talk
I
comics.
think
How have
so.
you been?
Yeah, it has been 9 days because we did that one episode weird. Yeah, it's been hot here in Arkansas as well. So, but yeah, talking comics is a nice reprieve, a
It
very
it
nice
it,
reprieve.
it is. Greg, where in the world are you?
Upstate New York.
Okay, so I can't really be too dismissive of the fact that there was a point this year where you guys were in Mars. So that's definitely weirder than a super hot Arkansas or Florida. So that you definitely win the effing crazy summer weather award. How hot is it up there right now?
I think it's like probably 70 something. It's not.
Oh yeah. All right. So that's your
65,
payback. That's your
65.
payback for not being able to breathe for a week and a half in the middle of the summer.
Yeah,
So
a lot of work in that. That was fun.
yeah. We got Joey Galvez in the chat. Joey, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. I think we're doing good. But it's that time where the people who are coming on to talk about their own projects get to give us a 30-second pitch as if they were at a Kickstarter convention. I think we should do a Kickstarter convention. I was a little jealous of all my buddies in San Diego Comic-Con who got to go to the Kickstarter booth and sign their comics. A little bit of anger and jealousy, but a whole lot of awe and respect. So yeah, let's do a Kickstarter convention. Let's get. I think Kat can put in a good word for us, right, Will?
I think so. Her and yeah, we saw pictures of that guy and Clay and Kat. So yeah, there was a lot of.
There were a lot of people. There was a lot of people out in San Diego. I guess when Kevin Smith can't come, the comic people can. So no offense, Kevin, I love you, but I'm super happy that you had to take a year off for comics to be the star. And speaking of stars, let's get Jonathan Hedrick. We're going to let you do the 30-second pitch first, and then we'll have Greg do his and kind of go straight into to his deep dive. But if I was walking past your booth and you, and of course, I've already read Capable, I've already read The Recount, and you want to get my attention about Spill Blood, how would you get my attention?
So Spill Blood is a 36-page one-shot, and it's black, white, and red. It's for fans of The Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Spawn. And it's about this priest who, during the day, listens to sinners confess their sins in his confessional booth. And then at night, he seeks revenge on those that are causing those sins. Not necessarily the sinners, but cutting the snake off at the head. So if you like your comic books with a lot of heavy metal themes to it, you'll dig Spill Blood.
Nice. All right, Greg, how about Mittens?
If you like cats, then you like Mittens. Or dogs or any other kind of animal. I did one convention ever so far, and all I had to do was say that, and then it hooked a bunch of people. So that was pretty cool.
It doesn't hurt to have one go-to thing that can reel people in, depending on what it is. And I can see. By the way, I kind of was looking at your page today. You had me at pug noises, and we can explain that when we do the deep dive a little closer. But you had me at pug noises. If you don't mind pulling up the page, I will. If you share it with me, I'll pull it up, and you can kind of take us through, and we can look at this a little bit closer.
Yeah. So this is Mittens 1 and 2. Issue 2 takes place right after issue 1. Issue 1 is Mittens, the star of the whole series. He's a master thief and space pilot, and he's actually tasked with a mission to retrieve this item that he's holding. in the first issue from by Oscar Paughton. He's a mob boss on Planet Yarn, and it starts on issue 2 with him being crashed on an unfamiliar planet because he went into hyperdrive on the ship, and he crashed onto a planet called Essos, and he's on the run from Commissioner Quackers and his fleet, as well as a bounty hunter named Griff. That's a panda being. I love pandas, so I had to put a panda in there. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Fox 64, and The Mandalorian, you'll love Mittens. I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 before coming on here. And that was.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it Wednesday, and I was hitting in the feels pretty hard. Do you want a moment? Like,
yeah, there was a couple. I was like, "Are you serious? You're gonna do that?"
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers because thankfully the internet didn't spoil anything for me. I didn't even know who the big bad was. Like, we're sitting there watching it, and they said his name, and I went, "Oh, it's the." And my wife looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'll tell you later." So do you get into the hard emotional feels, or is this more of the goofy good times of the Guardians?
This is like kind of goofy times, but it's setting up for something in the 3rd issue, which is like a vault job kind of thing. Well, it is a vault job, so. You
can tell us. We won't tell anybody what.
And in issue 2, he actually has to break, actually an important character out of prison. So he has to do that. So a good majority of issue 2 is that.
Now, I had joked before that we had like no theme between the 2 books, but actually I am seeing a theme. Both of you have picked with your art team a very distinct color palette. You are blue, black, and white, and Jonathan, you said it was red, black, and white. Is that correct?
That's right.
So I'm going to stop for a second, and Greg, you answer first. But was this an idea that you had in the writing phase, or did this come about when you found your artist?
So after I was done writing, I asked my friend Josh, who's the artist, and I was like, "So, could do this in color?" And he's like, "Yeah, it would be this amount." And I was like, "Ooh, how about we don't do that?" So we kind of save money, even though it's still coloring, but it's just one color, and having it like the monochrome blue, that gets like a lot of people interested just already because they're like, "Oh, it feels like you're in space." And I was like,
"Yeah,
oh yeah." So that's what we're going for. So yeah.
So this started as a financial decision and became artistic after the fact. I like that.
Yes, that, and technically Mittens is like colorblind, so it just helps with that.
It
too.
works.
All right, we're seeing the world the way Mittens does. Well, Jonathan, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Did that very distinct color palette? Was that something you wanted from the get-go, or did that start when you found your artist?
It kind of came organically. Stefano and I have worked before on a few other books, and he's always watercolored those, and inked them traditionally. But with this book, with Spill Blood, he's doing this one digital. So we decided to make the choice of keeping it real simple, black, white, and red. It gives it an extra little punch with the noir style. That we're kind of going for with this one, like some Sin City vibes, and Hellboy is colored, to a better extent, but we wanted to give it some Mike Mignola vibes too. So really wanted this book to be dark, and I think adding pretty colors into it would have took away from the theme.
That's interesting. All right, so cool, Greg. Let's get back into it. But I was like, finally a theme. And what Will and I do is zero organization, zero forethought, and usually for some reason there's a really great through line to the projects we have on the show, and it is never planned. But I finally found one between these 2 books, and I was going to jump on it.
Yeah. So we got the bunch of rewards, digital tiers and physical and digital, obviously. So
And catching up. So if I haven't read number 1, which I haven't, I can grab both with this.
yes, so the digital tier for that would be the $10 tier, the pause to the wheel, and then just issue 2 is $5 on the run. The physical issue 2 is New Planet, New Problems, and that's $10. You get the digital and the physical. Jailbreak is the Journey Bar sticker, which is a candy bar that a new character eats. And he's kind of like Paul Blart in a sense, like he needs energy to do something. So you get the comic and the digital version and sticker. And then $20 is both physical and digital. Q Fight Scene is our Nintendo 64 parody prints that went over well last year, so we did a bunch this time. There's the Pug Noises reward tier, and that's the shirt that's literally the lettering that says Pug Noises, and you get that. Issue 2, Slugger's trading card, which is the new character that eats the Journey Bar and the Journey Bar sticker. The 90s throwback was unlocked from a stretch goal, and you get the Star Fox 64 parody print, the Smash Brothers parody print, 2 trading cards, which is Mittens and Slugger, and the comics. There's the retail tier. I actually had 2 people get that so far, which is
nice.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, plushie, which is basically everything for the most part. And the plushie is not like pictured in the reward yet because like she's still creating it, but I've been getting like progress things, and
nice.
We only have one of those left. That's $85. And then the last one is a Sketchy Scheme, which we had on the first issue, and I think there's 2 of those left because one person dropped out of that. And
that's good news for people coming at the tail end, you know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I'm going to need you for somebody who might be listening to the podcast and can't see. I'm going to need you to talk about Pug Noises because I was reading the pages you have on the Kickstarter, and we've got Mittens escaping from Colonel Quackers, I believe his name is.
Commissioner Quackers.
Commissioner Quackers, and is picked up by a dog in a flying car.
Yep.
And the first thing we hear is Pug Noises. Get in. And he's like, well, what's going on? Pug Noises, I'm here to save you. That pug starting every bit of dialogue with Pug Noises. I literally was giggling reading that. Have you had pugs in your life? Or
yeah, so the animals, well, not all the animals because I've never owned a panda, but
well, you would if you were allowed to. If you could get away with it, you'd have a panda. I can tell.
But so Slugger was a childhood pet that I had that was a pug, and then his brother was Peyton, and that's like a bad guy that's in this series, and he's Peyton Fatil. He's like Lord of Planet Boneyard. So Slugger, we just thought it was really funny to put Pug Noises and not actually put like a pug snarl because it's like, how would you even like letter that? So
right.
Yeah.
I really wanted somebody to like mention that on podcast or something. Because then I can actually do the sound for that. It's like, so you just imagine that anytime he is about to talk. So it's like,
I had never
like,
had an experience with a pug until I was I'm going over to one of my best friend's houses. He had this 12, 13, 14-year-old pug, and that dog walked up to me and snotted my leg. The first thing he did was just went and this layer, like it felt like an inch deep of just mucus on my leg. I think it's still on it. This happened when I was 16. I think it's still there. I've washed it every day and I think it's still there. And I said, what the hell was that? He's like, oh, well, like pugs have to do that because of the shape of their noses. They just have to do that. You get used to it. And I was like, how the fuck do you get used to that? And he was just like, you just do. Don't worry about it. And that dog's just like, and I was just like, these are disgusting animals, but I know you fall in love with them. And he was like, he just looked at me and goes, you get used to it. It's fine. So when I read Pug Noises, I went straight back to my buddy's dog sneezing on my leg. Not even sneezing, but literally on purpose, just snorting snot on me. but it was great. Ronan the Accuser in the chat says, "I like it just backed." All right, that is the explain yourself bump, literally on the thing. That is beautiful. And we've got Davey in the thing. Dang, packed House of Sluggers. We got that was pretty. Was that pun intended? Did you know his name was Slugger?
I think he did because
that's.
I think he read the first issue.
Okay, sweet. All right, but no, it's really cool. And I saw on your Facebook page that this is a 3-issue arc that could have been the end, but you're feeling like there's energy and people are loving the book, and you've got stories. Stories after third, right?
There's a lot more. So me and Josh were talking after some live stream months ago, and we had this one idea at the end of issue 3, and that sparked an entire Mittens verse of stuff. So right after that, I wrote when I had my security job, I got to write at work and not actually do my job. So I'm watching cameras, and then I'm just writing. And I wrote part of the one shot of the Griff character. And
now I'm gonna stop for 1 second. It does worry me that you no longer have that security job.
Oh,
you mentioned it in the past tense. I'm a little bit worried about.
Oh, it was just boring, so I left.
Okay, all right.
It was an overnight shift. So
good. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I started writing the one shot of it was actually going to be a multi-series thing, and I was like, I'll just be a one shot, and it's for the bounty hunter Griff, which is the panda. So I can't wait to put that out, but all in time.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, it looks super cool. I'm definitely going to grab, I haven't decided on digital or physical yet, but I'm going to definitely catch up on it because it certainly looks super fun and up my alley. And instead of super fun and up my alley, let's go gritty, hardcore, bloody up my alley. Let's check out Spillblood, Jonathan. Can you share the page and we'll...
Yeah. 1 second.
You had mentioned Mike Mignola. And when I was looking at the page, the what I was reminded of is some of the later incarnations of Grendel, the
Yes.
Matt Wagner, because of the hardcore graphic style, and then you got into kind of the religious iconography. Oops, sorry about that. I think Will and I both worked at the same time. The religious iconography, just kind of that was the feel that I saw when I looked at the page for the first time. But it does look brutal and graphically beautiful, but in a very coarse way.
Right. And I appreciate all because I was aiming for a 90s Dark Horse vibe going into this book with Stefano. Like I mentioned before, him and I have worked together before. This will be our 4th full-length comic book, and they've all been different genres. It's Freak Show Night was Zombie Tale. Then we did Space Cadet, which was our all-ages fairy tale. Then we did Caffeinated Hearts, which was a slice of life in a coffee shop. Now Spillblood, which is this heavy religious tone, violent, vigilante type comic book. So it definitely has, that identity of a 70s, 80s B horror movie vibe to it. So we're honing into that, those Grendel days and things like that with this book. But yeah, thanks for picking up on that, Kevin. And so
it's
we're
nice to have an artist that you can kind of just trust
exactly
to play around with in different styles.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, we're fully funded. We funded within the first 28 hours. Creeping up on 200 backers. We have 12 days left. We're a project we love. Super stoked that we got that. And so we unlocked a lot of stretch goals already. We already 100 backers. We unlocked a free copy of Freak Show Night, and then we're coming close to unlocking a free copy of Caffeinated Hearts. So the more stuff between Stefano and I. Free stickers unlocked, free trading card, free magnet. free 11 by 17 poster.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah, free patch. We're creeping up on the free pin. And then when I stop sharing my screen, I'll show you what the cover artwork will be for this one. My wife, Francesca Fantini, who's an artist. On
She's
stage.
okay.
Yeah,
She's all right.
She's pretty okay. She surprised me with the cover. So we're working on the high res, but it's already painted and everything. I can
Oh,
show
that's
that.
cool.
Wow.
If anybody doesn't know, the artist on Stake, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So
Stake.
if you've seen David Byrne's Stake, you've seen her art, and it's exemplary.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then my buddy Brian Silverbacks, who's done a ton of covers for me in the past, surprised me with this cover, which we immediately just, since I didn't commission him for it, I just immediately made it an add-on mid-campaign. So it's been a huge hit so far. And then here comes the campaign page. Like I said, I was really going for that 70s, 80s grindhouse look for this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the theme I was going for. And you know, I felt like it was a little necessary to say how, like, this is going to be a violent book. So I don't want anyone not knowing what they're getting into.
Right. If somebody knows you, they've just like followed you for Capable.
Exactly.
Which has its dark moments, but is certainly not a gore fest.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So the little blurb here, it just kind of explains who Spillblood is. He was rejected by heaven, exiled from hell, and now he's just doomed to walk the earth. So what he does on his time is take out what God and Satan won't do. You know, the scums of the earth that plague us while we're alive. So here's some of the interior artwork. That deep red throughout.
That looks even like a Frank Miller Daredevil cover. That splash.
Yeah, and you know, there is definitely some Daredevil tones to this too, especially leading to the religious parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
My letterer on this book, Leo McGovern, hasn't. This is probably his second full book that he's lettered. He's been wonderful to work with. Love trying out someone new and letting them really flex,
especially that page.
Yeah. And
you got your money's worth on that page from your letter.
Right. And on top of it, it's like when you're a letterer, you usually get to add color to your sound effects.
Right. They can't.
He has 3 colors to choose from. So, and then here comes the bragging about. Of course, I had to give myself the biggest bio because I have the biggest head in the room.
Us writers in indie comics don't get enough credit, so we've got to make sure that we toot our own horn, right?
Exactly. Well, I put this up here, right, and then I got Stefano and Leo's. I'm like, come on. You guys,
come on, write more about yourself.
Right. Don't make me look like such a douchebag. But here's the cover. So
hey, listen, on Kickstarter, all we want is sincerity, and if you're sincerely a douchebag, we think you should put it on the page. Right. I don't think you are, but
thank you. With the interiors are digital, but Stefano still went traditional watercolors for his A cover, which is super gorgeous. We're doing that trade dress and Virgin. And then a buddy of mine, Joe Schmolke, you might have heard of him, did this variant cover. We're doing that trade and Virgin. And then rewards, $5 digital. And this is a 36-page comic book. And we already unlocked one free other comic book, and we're about to unlock another one. So already money's worth with that.
So the $5 digital basically is going to become a small bundle.
Exactly.
With the okay, great.
Yep.
That's actually quite a deal.
Yep, I believe so. And then our lowest physical reward tier, $8 with a $7 US shipping attached to it. That gets you the 36-page one shot, the digital, the sticker, the magnet, the trading card, the poster, the patch, hopefully the pin soon, as well as the additional free comic books that we're unlocking. So
Okay, I'm going to tell you a fulfillment nightmare, but just so you know, I got an email, and I'm super careful with my pins when I send them. I put them in an envelope, and I try to check which side the prongs are on, and I turn it away from the comic. I messed up. Guy emailed me. Pin prongs went straight through the entire comic. So just be careful where you put the pins, because even if you're careful, you can ruin your comic. And hey, put them another one and put it in the mail, because that was all my fault. So just be careful with the pins when you mail them.
Yeah, thank you. And I was already thinking of that ahead of time, and I was like, do I really want to do pins? That sounds like a fulfillment nightmare, but why not?
As long as you're careful. I've only gotten one of those, but I just got it. So like 4 days ago, I was like, damn it.
One out of a few hundred isn't too bad.
Yeah. And the guy was super nice. He's like, I didn't mean I wanted a comic. I'm like, well, I destroyed your comic. I mean, like, this is where it's super easy decision. I'm going to send you a new comic. It's fine.
Right.
Well, so Jonathan, you also mentioned that you're doing an 11 by 17 poster.
Yes. Yep. So I already did posters with my printer before, and they can fold them into the proper size to fit in a Gemini mailer. Gotcha. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The next physical reward tier bumps up a little bit to 13. I'll get you 2 copies, Virgin and Trade Dress. And then 18 is where you get the Schmolke cover.
Okay, guys, you need to really mess Jonathan over. These prices are wrong. You got a Virgin and a regular cover for 13?
I know.
That is incredible.
I'm not profiting much off these. This is to get the book funded, fulfill it, some extras for damages, comps, and whatnot, and get into people's hands. I've never gone into any crowdfunding campaign trying to put money in my own pocket. This is to produce the comic book. If there's anything left over, it's probably going to produce the next one. So
sweet. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying these prices are incredible.
Thank you for pointing that out, because it's the name of the game is to get more backers at the end of the day. If I can crowdfund something in with just 20 backers, that's great, but I really would like a steady amount of 200, 300 people with every campaign. I can't do that with super high pledge prices. So
I always shoot for the 300, because then I can use the "This is Sparta" GIF. And that is literally, but like the joy of being able to use that GIF is why that's my number. It's not 200 or 400, because there's not a cool GIF for those two.
Nope.
And there's literally nothing more to it than that. But I'm like, we get to 199. I'm like 101 more backers to 300.
Come on, guys. All covers for 50, and then we throw in shipping for free at that point. And then we have our retailer tier set at 80, which is at cost. This is zero profit with this one. And we had 10 of these, and there's only 2 left. So we're looking for 2 more retailers. Yeah.
Yes, you guys have both done well with your retailer tier. I mean, 2 and 8 retailers on a Kickstarter, I consider a huge success. I've had retailer tiers where literally the only people that backed it were 2 people that are longtime backers of mine. And I let them go through because I knew they were just giving them away. But I stopped doing the retailer tier because I haven't figured out for myself how to reach out. Did you guys reach out to these stores to get these backers? I'd love to know how you're having this success.
Greg, do you want to go first?
Well, the first person that backed the retail tier is a fellow comic creator, and he's like, I'm just going to give them away for like as like a trick or treat type thing. I was
Right.
like, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
The other one is actually a store, and that was like just a complete shock because I haven't tried to do that. I just put the retail tier up, and then I try to like find a shop that's like, hey, do you want this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's smart to reach out when you have the books in hand. I found more success with, hey, I've got these. Do you want to put them up, either consignment or whatever? But that's great that, and like I said, I've had people that weren't shops do it, and honestly, I mean, who's going to stop somebody from backing whatever they back?
Right.
But Jonathan, you've got 8. Did you do a reach out, or do you just have?
I've had some pretty decent success with retailer tiers with my previous campaigns. A lot of that has to do with local shops in Florida that have consistently supported me. And honestly, if it wasn't for one of my local shops closing last December and another one about to close the end of this year, I think they would have backed this campaign as well, and I would have been out of my retailer tiers. So
It's really selfish of them not to back you just because they closed.
yeah, they really should still do it. You know, jerks.
Yeah, selfish, but whatever. No, it is a very tough time for local comic shops.
It really is. Someone snagged the OA tier for the Stefano's cover.
Nice.
That we cleverly set at 666, and which also is going to give that person the 4 covers. I'm going to also throw in the Brian Silverback's cover for this, backer, because that's a good amount to keep that person happy.
Yeah, you want to keep the person in league with Satan happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we still have Schmolke's original artwork for his cover available. So I hope someone in the Schmolke army will want to take that home with them before the campaign ends. Then add-ons, we have the published editions of Stefano and I's other books, as well as that Brian Silverback's cover. When we get to the dollar goal for Francesca's cover, that'll be an add-on as well. And after that, it's the fulfillment and the fine print, and that's about it. So
awesome.
I'll stop sharing.
You stopped sharing, but you said you could show us the cover. So let's. Oh wow.
So we have it clipped to this piece of cardboard because this was heavy duty paper, so it kind of curls. But she did this all traditional and had it scanned in. So she's touching it up a little bit to hide the roller marks and stuff like that. But it's that's the first Fantini cover of mine. So
yeah, I had it up big, so I missed some of the stuff in the chat. Davey Lee says Samurai Jack vibes. I'm new to Samurai Jack, so I don't know. Is that anything that you felt going in, or?
No, not intentionally, but not, I can kind of see it, especially that style of animation goes hand in hand. Yeah. Good call, Davey.
Sorry. All right. So you're both funded, correct? I think you're both in that interest trying to add readers, which is personally, I think Will and I's goal as well. I'd rather have 1,000 readers at $10 a piece than 100 readers at $100 a piece. I think that adds up to the same, but
absolutely.
Don't check my math, please. Now that said, I'd rather have one reader of 10,000 and then 99 readers of 10. But like I wouldn't turn that $666 backer away.
Right.
But so I really think both of these books are super interesting in their own way, and I'm on board with both. This is a one shot. Is there any chance to return to this, or are you guys just going to find a new genre for a new story, or are you guys just like frogs jumping on lily pads?
Right. I'm leaning towards doing another one for Spill Blood. it'll be the first time Stefano and I have done, more than one book of any title. So got to see, what his thoughts are on it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm there's definitely an audience. It's being well received. I think it's very marketable too. So yeah, I hope we can do more than just this one shot.
Cool.
Awesome. But are you popping in with something, Will, or?
No.
Just
yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's just cool. I mean,
I'll take that from Will
right.
any day. I'll take just a cool.
you guys, you're. I really, it's cool that, Kevin pointed it out that there's 3 colors, black, white, and red, and then the black, white, and blue, and like I said, we don't plan or organize very well because we are.
That would take effort.
Yes, but I mean it's interesting because some of the best art can come out of
limitations,
constraints.
Yeah.
Having dollar constraints, or having we're gonna just do 3 colors, or we're just gonna do this. So, I mean it's kind of a fun challenge, I think, because it makes you more creative to get around those limitations. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, great job both on.
And you guys both, just to give that to an artist, you give them the constraints, and then you guys get the credit when the book looks super cool. That's the brilliance of the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
You give them lemons, and you get lemonade.
All right. Well, Jill, honestly, I think we did it. I know, Greg, I want to thank you for, I want to bring something up. Greg was going to be on the show last Friday night, and he was super cool to send me an email that day and just say, hey, I'm really coming down with something. Do you mind if I miss out? And something, if there's other creators that are watching this or listening to the podcast, he did the right thing. I think that a lot of times we as creators think we've got 18 days for this Kickstarter, we've got 30 days for this Kickstarter. We have to be everything at 100 miles an hour every day, every hour. And that is the type of mindset that makes you sick, that makes you burn out, that makes you actually go from being sick to having severe health issues. Yes. So I want to applaud you, Greg, for making the right call and actually reaching out. We have had people who just didn't show up in the show, and like a month and a half later, I'm like, hey, what happened? And like, whatever the excuse was. And so thank you for being polite and letting us know. Will and I, hey, Greg was going to be the only one. Let's take the night off. And we both kind of like did a happy dance just to be able to go to sleep on a Friday night. But more so, I just, guys, this is a second job for most people, maybe a third. And it's super important, and we care about it so much, but don't care about it so much that you put your health on the line. So right. I think you were a good example of a creator who cares about their book and cares about their project, making the right choice. And I want to just say that more for people who might be watching, even than for you.
Yeah. Well said, Kevin.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't usually get a well said, Kevin. We're going to end on that. I told you guys we would get in and out tonight. I now have a puppy who gets me up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So I'm ready to get these over, not because I'm not having fun, but because I love you, lady. But holy crap, you're going to wake me up in about 5.5 hours. But in case somebody is listening, or we've got a comment, I'm going to check the comment real quick. Gareth, you just got here. Okay, guys, we're going to restart for Gareth. Okay. We got, so we're 33 minutes in, so we'll just be here for an hour and 6 minutes.
That's right.
Okay, so Gareth is walking past your booth. Jonathan, you got to let him know about Spilled Blood. You got 30 seconds to make him interested in your book, or interested enough to rewatch this on YouTube. So go on Spilled Blood.
Spillblood's a 36-page one-shot in black, white, and red. It's about this haunted priest who listens to sinners' confessions all day long, and then at night he turns into something else, and he tries to take out those sins that cause the sinners to seek salvation at his church.
Nice. All right, and now for something completely different. Greg, hit us with Mittens.
If you like cats, you'll like Mittens, because he's a cat. It's a 28-page comic book that is monochrome blue and white and black. It's about a cat that is on a mission to retrieve this item, and his ship crash landed on an unfamiliar planet, so now he has to get his ship fixed, and he runs into some crazy people, and they either going to fix the ship or they're going to make his life worse. So
or a little bit of both, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. So Gareth put in the comments 2 different ends of the spectrum, but I'm sold. All right, that's what we're here for, to get books out to people, and hopefully both ring a bell for our watchers. Everybody who's in the chat, thank you. Joey, Gareth, Davey, I saw up there. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Christian, C Nova Comics. I need to know about C Nova Comics, guys. Come on, somebody let me know, because that's new to me. But that'll be my homework for this week, is finding out what C Nova Comics is. Gentlemen, it was a blast. Have a great night, and good luck closing these out. We got to get these both up to 300.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.